What's going on, guys? Josh here. You guys know the drill. You know how I start off these these streams. So yeah, welcome to another live stream. And yeah, I'm trying to do these at least once or twice a month, just so we can answer some questions. I know that a lot of you ask me a ton of questions on Facebook, and I can't get back to you. I just have other things going on, but now I'm setting aside like half an hour tops, to talk about your questions, whatever you want to talk about, gear, advice, how to get clients, how to make money. So you let me know what kind of questions you have for me, and we can get started. It's that easy. So let me get into the comments section here, see what you guys are saying. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, awesome. Hello, 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 Stellar J Films, BLK Photo, what's up? Can you do a balancing episode for the Crane Plus like you did for the Crane 2? I never did a balancing episode for the Crane 2. I did it for the Crane V2. Yeah. Stellar J Films, good question, my friend. You are asking whether or not to, use a glide cam or a gimbal. And I'll be honest, they are two different tools. They are going to get you two different results. A glide cam is more natural, it's more fluid, while a gimbal is more steady, it's more accurate. That's the biggest word I can use describing gimbal. It's a lot more accurate than a glide cam, and you're always going to get a leveled horizon. A glide cam is definitely more old school. And I started off with glide cams. I feel like you have to start off with something that's a lot more difficult to use. That way you know how things work. So start off using, here's my best recommendation. Go on YouTube, type in glide cam footage, then open up another tab and type in gimbal footage. And I want you to select which one you like more. Eventually down the road, you're gonna have to pick up both. But start off with the one that you like more just by looking at the test footage. Okay, you need both. Whether or not you believe me or not, I'm just telling you how it is. I have 3 manual stabilizers, and I have like, I don't know, 5, 6 gimbals. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into stabilization, guys. But they're two different tools, and I'll tell you that right now. So keep that in mind. That's very important to understand. You are going to have to get equipment that was meant for a similar purpose. Okay, you're gonna get one more. You're gonna get different sliders. You're gonna get different lights. All of these lights or all of these sliders were meant for an initial purpose, and that is to create dynamic shots, to light up a scene. But just because you get all of these lights, it doesn't mean that each light serves the same purpose. One light is meant to light up the edges of a subject. Another light is meant to light up a room. Another light is meant to just light up a person's face. There's another one for ambient lighting. So lights have different purposes. Different stabilization systems also serve their different purposes. So just because you're buying the same type of equipment, like a glide cam and a gimbal, doesn't mean they're meant or they will give you the same type of results. They are going to get you completely different results. Stellar J Film says, yeah, that's how I found you when you were on the glide cam guru. I've gotten good with my glide cam, actually. Yeah, at some point I'll get a Crane 2 for my Lumix GH8. Yeah, really consider it. And awesome, I'm happy you found me through glide cam. That's good to know. Rookie question maybe, but when using my gimbal, should I turn off my camera image stabilization or leave it on? Very good question, and I covered this a little bit in my latest tutorial when I was walking on like a mountain. I suggest you check it out, by the way, if you want to get some super smooth footage. If you want me to post a link, I will, but it's one of my best tutorial videos on gimbals. Didn't get that many views, unfortunately, but it's probably one of the best content I've released. And in that video, I talk about, image stabilization. But long story short, I'll tell you right now, when you're using a wide-angle lens, it never hurts to use in-body stabilization. When you use a medium range lens, like a 50 mil onward, going up to like an 85 mil, turn it off, because what image stabilization does is it either moves the elements inside the lens or it moves the sensor inside the camera. It depends what camera you have and what lens you have. But you're going to have objects moving around. Now, with a telephoto lens, why you want to leave it off is that, don't forget, with the telephoto lens, movement is magnified. It's very, very sensitive. So if the camera is going to be moving the sensor according to the movement it's detecting, you're going to see some jitterness in your footage, because that telephoto lens magnifies that movement. So I like to leave any type of stabilization system off when using such a zoomed in lens. Trust me, you're going to get much cleaner results. If you watch my tutorial on using a gimbal and a telephoto lens, or if you watch my Crane Plus release video, you will see that when I'm using telephoto lenses, I turn image stabilization off. Very important. Okay. Okay. Ride the Fog says, if you would buy Panasonic GH5 now, what would be your first lenses and what would you buy for it? I've been recommended to buy Sigma 18 to 35 mil with a Metabone speed booster. I want to shoot weddings, by the way. Yeah, 18 to 35 mil is great. I stopped shooting on crop censored cameras. I'm not interested in those cameras anymore. But with GH5, with GH4, you're going to get the best image quality out of any other camera so far. You're going to get better. I mean, it's a 200 megabit compression and data. It's unreal. That's more than double. That's double my A9. And I think it goes up to 400 on the GH5, if I'm not mistaken. So image quality is fantastic. Now, when it comes down to lenses, you're going to have to incorporate that crop factor of, I believe it's double. So an 18 mil on a crop sensor camera like that one is going to be 36 mil. Okay, so I would even go wider. Go wider. Try going for maybe like I would like to have an 8 mil, so that would be a 16 millimeter on a GH5, and also an 18 to 35 mil, because that will translate to a 36 to 70, which is a standard zoom lens. So get a wide, get a medium 18 to 35, and also get a telephoto. Those are the type of lenses I would be looking for. Now, since I shoot with Sony bodies, I only buy native lenses. I don't want to deal with things being out of focus or not being stable. I will only buy Sony native glass. That's just something, unless it's a wide angle lens, like I have a Rokinon 14 mil that I really don't shoot with anymore. But I will only stick to G Master and Zeiss lenses for now, simply because of all the perks you get with using native lenses. Stellar J Film says I would use a Lumix 12 to 35. Yeah, you know better than me because you guys shoot with Lumix cameras. I sold my GH4. I don't shoot with Panasonic anymore. I love shooting with my A9, A7S. Full frame for me. You get a shallower depth of field. You get better low light capabilities. But when it comes down to compression, you're going to get more compressed footage because processors in these tiny camera bodies will heat up processing full frame images. So that is why Panasonic stuck with the Micro Four Thirds. Stellar J Film says, for your information, the Lumix 714 won't let you put on any variable NDs because of its oval shape. Ooh. So that's 7 of 14, oval shape. Okay. All right, so I see that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of a big downer. Today I was shooting a promo for an elementary school, a private elementary school, and I had to use ND filters because even in Los Angeles, when we have cloudy days like it was today, it can still get extremely, extremely bright. We have clouds that can actually make a lot of harsh light, and we have clouds a lot thicker clouds that can make beautiful diffused light. Today was one of those days where the clouds were they were producing very harsh light. So I had to use an ND filter for that, unfortunately. I usually don't like using ND filters simply because the more glass you add onto your lens, the softer images become, and you don't get the best picture quality. And sometimes with ND filters, what I notice is that if you go pretty dark in an ND filter, you can actually see like a little X on your image. And that's because with variable ND filters, you're switching, and as you turn the glass, there's different film. There's different layers of film. So as you turn the glass, it's going to get darker, and you can actually see the X mark, which means that you're transitioning from dark to bright. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. But usually that happens on ND filters, and I can see that in bright and sometimes even dark areas. So if you don't mind it, try to get normal ND filters and not variables. I have 2 variables, and I have a few other standalone ND filters. I'd rather use the standalone. Variables are a lot more convenient, but they will get you worse picture quality from my experience. Yeah, and Stellar J Film says that you were put off by that. Yeah, I could see why. I could see why. So yeah, keep that in mind. I feel like that's a pretty big issue with variable ND filters. Tiffin is a very good company, one of the best for making these types of lens accessories. So consider buying something like a Tiffin. I opted for a lot cheaper options like the Fotga ND filters and this other company, relatively new, called KNF Concept. It's okay, kind of can make my images a little green every now and then. But overall, I've been able to either color correct it very well or color match it to another camera. So I haven't had any issues doing that. Today for my elementary school shoot, it is a private school, as I said earlier, so that's why they had the budget to hire me for this shoot. I was shooting a lot of interviews with like kids from elementary, from grade 3 to preschool to 5th grade, and I interviewed all these kids, and I used an 85mm 1.8 Sony lens, and they were probably maybe a foot away from a bookcase. There was a bookcase right behind these kids, and a 1.8 85mm will still blur out that bookcase even though you're 1 foot away from it. So you get this shallow depth of field even though there's minimal distance between the background and the subject, which is phenomenal. I love a lens that can do that. So if you have a Sony camera, Sony full frame camera, I strongly recommend that you get the 85mm 1.8. It's sharp all around. It's $600, which is actually for Sony glass, it's on the cheaper side. And the images, mwah, beautiful. I was reviewing the footage today, and it came out great. Stellar J Films asks, where do you get your music for clients? I use Epidemic. They're actually very good, but it's for your YouTube channel only. Audio Jungle is good and cheap, but what do you like? So I used Audio Jungle a few times. Audio Jungle does have some few options here, but let me try and remember. I have it bookmarked. I forgot the name because I'm just not good with websites. I have so many different types of sources. But I'll be honest with you, I've used probably for 70 to 80% of my YouTube videos, and for my client work, I've used royalty-free music that I get off of YouTube for free. And all you got to do is credit the artist. And trust me, it's just as good, if not better, than the royalty-free stuff that you need to buy. Epidemic Sound, as you said before, is very good. There's another very good company called Soundblocks. Soundblocks and Video Blocks. If you need stock footage, stock sounds, stock music, you go to Soundblocks or Video Blocks. That's another great company that I actually like to use, and I used it too. I shot a few episodes with long time ago. This was like back in 2015. Yeah, a long time ago, 3 years. I shot some things with Xerox. and Cisco, and these other companies called Atlassian, Glassdoor. All of these companies are based in San Francisco, and I was shooting some promo videos for them. And I used a lot of footage from video blocks and a lot of music from sound blocks to produce those videos. So yeah, when I was doing those videos for them, that's what I've been doing. I've been taking all the content from those sites. Greetings from India. Would love to see a detailed handheld gimbal hyperlapse tutorial for the Crane 2, as well as object tracking. Object tracking on the Crane 2 with the cell phone, which I'm having a hard time with. Okay, so you're giving me a lot of homework to do. Okay, definitely. I'll definitely do that. Tomorrow I will be filming a new drone tutorial. I realized something that's really funny. There were three major things that made my channel popular. In the beginning, it was slider tutorials, camera sliders. Then it went to glide cam tutorials. My glide cam video is almost at 600,000 views, which is unreal. In a year and a half, 600,000 views. That's phenomenal. And it's ranked, I think, #1 or #2 on YouTube. So that's fantastic. I got my fame through that. I got my fame through that. And thirdly came drones. And I stopped doing drone videos because I was starting to do a lot of Jew Tech gimbal tutorials and just gimbal tutorials in general. So I lost a lot of my following because I switched over to gimbals. Now I'm going to start switching a little bit over back to drones because there are a lot of new techniques I've started using with drones. And I would love to share those techniques with you so you guys can use them on your shoots or just have fun with it and be more creative with your videos that you produce. So yeah, I'll be filming that all day tomorrow. That'll be very fun. And this weekend I have more tutorials I got to shoot. I'm going to up my production quality, guys. I've been outputting 3 to 4 videos a week for you. And I've been dealing with a lot of client work and a lot of outside stuff. And I noticed that my production quality hasn't been the best. So I apologize about that. I'm going to put in a lot of sleepless nights now to make sure that my production quality is up to point. So I'll be working on that for you guys. And the drone tutorial that I'll film tomorrow, it will be coming out Friday, speaking of sleepless nights. So yeah, that drone tutorial will be coming out Friday. I don't want to spoil the information now, so just wait until Friday. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, and I will release that awesome. I know it's going to be awesome because you guys are going to learn a lot with that drone video. But yeah, cool. BLK Photo says, have a great night. Love your content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Perfect. Keep doing what you're doing, mate. All the very best. God bless. Thank you so much. You could be the next Peter McKinnon. Oh, dude, I wish, man. I wish. I would love. That's the goal, dude. 100K by the end of this year. It seems like a really far off point, but I think it's doable. I just got to put more work into my YouTube channel. And now that I'm starting to pick up some traction, I think I can. I think I can. So yeah, sleepless nights, guys. If the hustle is real, then the outcome will be real too. Yeah. So let me know if you have any other questions here. I'm happy that you guys are tuning in to these live streams so we can just have a little talk. Ryan Rodriguez, why did you start a YouTube channel? Okay, very good question. Why did I start a YouTube channel? I started a YouTube channel when I got my first type of camera stabilizer. This was back, I think, in 2013. It was the Optica SteadyVid Pro. It was an absolute nightmare to use. And after, playing around with it like 15 hours straight, I finally was able to use it properly. I was finally able to balance it. And I was like, why do other people have to struggle as much as me while using this? how about I make a 10-minute tutorial, 10, 15-minute tutorial teaching people how to use this thing? Because I really don't want people to struggle like I did um, while using these types of filmmaking equipment. So I just decided to put out a tutorial, Optica David Pro. It got like I think 30,000 views within the year, which for me was great because this was like my first video on YouTube. So yeah, 30,000 views, and then I started doing tutorials on sliders, which I think broke 250,000 views, which also did very well. And then after that, I got more serious equipment, like more serious gimbals from this company called Lang. They sent me one of their gimbals. I don't even know if they're still in business, but Lang sent me a few of their Steadicams, so I tried it out, made a few tutorials on that. Those went big. Eventually, I released my glide cam tutorial video, which is almost at 600,000 views right now. So once I saw my channel pick up momentum, I started taking it seriously. And I started taking it seriously in 2016. That's when I started seeing a consistent rise in subscribers. So as soon as I started seeing that rise, I was like, okay, I see interest. I'm going to start producing some more tutorials and some more filmmaking content for you guys. Just an idea, maybe make a studio. I will. I'm working on it, man. I will be moving soon, hopefully to a bigger place, and I'll dedicate a room for a studio. But yeah, definitely a good idea. So yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah. All right, guys. Do you have any more questions for me? Any specific questions? We can talk about anything relating to filmmaking. Yeah. What are you guys struggling with? What are you succeeding in? Feel free. It's like an open mic night. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Stellar J Film says, if you ever come out to Japan, come film with us. Dude, I'm dying to go to Japan. That's next on my list. I'm actually, the end of this year, I'm going to Cambodia and Thailand. And then, yeah, I'm going to dedicate 2019 to just a year of travel. So Cambodia, Thailand, I want to go to Japan after that. And after that, I'm going to go to Russia. So that's on the plan. And then after that, Australia, I'm hoping. If anything doesn't change, those are the 5 countries I'll be in. Stellar J Films, I'm based in Japan, so it's a great place to fly drones. There's no restrictions of drones in Japan, really? Man, they're so strict. Everywhere in California, they're so strict. Yeah, so it's very irritating. Very, very irritating. Yeah, I would love to come. I would love to film there, man. I would love to. Probably. So yeah, you're saying there are some drone laws over there, but I'm pretty sure they're not as strict as they are here in California, specifically California. 150 meters, yeah. So it's a little bit higher. We have a 120-meter limit, but yeah, but we have apps to tell you where you can and can't. Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty similar. 150 meters is still pretty good. It's still pretty high up. It's higher than what we have. Ryan Rodriguez says, I've been struggling with lighting lately. Watched a ton of tutorials, including yours. So yeah, I'm always struggling with lighting. I started becoming very good with internal lighting, like inside controlled lighting. I'm very good at. As soon as I go outside, when I can't control ambient light, I'm in trouble. So that's why I'm going to a class on Saturday taught by Aperture. Aperture is a great lighting company. They actually make monitors and mics as well. So I'm going to Burbank next week for a lighting class, lighting tutorial. So I think they're going to cover inside lighting and outside lighting. And outside lighting is where I need a lot of help. I need to learn how to diffuse sunlight. That's the biggest issue with me. I need to know how to reflect sunlight properly. Like, there's a ton of stuff that I learned. So yeah, that's coming up, and hopefully I'll grasp a lot of that information and make some tutorials of what I've learned from that Aperture meet, because it's going to be a very, very educational experience. Ryan Rodriguez said, filmed my first testimonial shoot today. Awesome, man. Ryan Rodriguez said, is that a free class? Yes, it is. It is a free class. And you're in Santa Clarita. So it's in Burbank. So it's not that far from Santa Clarita. Yeah, check it out. I think you can find some details on Aperture's website or Aperture's Facebook page. But you have to reserve tickets. They're free tickets, but you have to reserve them. Okay, so yeah, definitely sign up to that. I think it's going to be booked. It might be already booked, because as soon as they release the notification that they're going to have an event, I reserved my ticket immediately. Yeah. The Hunter's asking, what's this all about? This is a filmmaking Q&A, my friend. Filmmaking Q&A. You guys have any more questions? Any more questions? It's a little dead tonight, huh? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head to bed. Got an early start tomorrow, and then I have an earlier start the next day, and then an earlier start on Saturday. And the only weekend I will get is a little bit of my Sunday. So I'm going to have to prep for that. And even on Sunday, I'm shooting a new tutorial video for YouTube. So I'm trying to get some sleep, you guys. You should too, especially you, Ryan. You should go to sleep. It's almost 1 a.m., man. But I know how our crazy minds work. We gotta we gotta stay up thinking of new ideas. So I want to thank all of you guys for joining. I hope you learned something new. If so, please share this channel with your friends, family, anyone interested in filmmaking. Please help support this channel by just sharing it and having them subscribe. And yeah, I would really appreciate that. I want to make this a pretty big community on YouTube. So help us get there. And yeah, let's do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, email me, and we'll talk about that. All right, guys. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Thank you guys for sharing. Stellar Films, thank you so much for sharing this. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Bye-bye.